Hello witches, wizards and those who are yet to receive their Hogwarts letters, welcome to my Harry Potter kitchen. This is the YouTube series where I'm baking my way through the Harry Potter books, making recipes for all the food and drink featured inside. If you missed last week's recipe for our lightning bolt crumpets, then make sure you check out the link down below in the description to catch up. But it's Magic Monday, so let's see what's up next. How do you like your recipes in the morning? I like mine with a touch of magic. And if you're the same, then you don't want to miss a thing from my Harry Potter kitchen. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every week when there is a brand new recipe. Speaking of which, the food awaits. Okay, so we don't have to look far for our next recipe because it's in the same sentence. They sat by the hour eating anything they could spare on a toasting fork. Bread, crumpets, marshmallows. Looks like we're heading back to the candy shop. For this recipe, you will need 8 gelatin leaves, 140 milliliters of water, 450 grams of sugar, 1 tablespoon of liquid glucose, 200 milliliters of water, 2 egg whites, some food coloring, some optional flavorings, 6 tablespoons of icing sugar, and 6 tablespoons of cornflour. Marshmallows are definitely one of those treats that remind me of my childhood, and it's probably one of the habits that I'm not going to grow out of anytime soon. But I do remember picking them up from the shop on the way home from school and tucking into that marshmallow with goodness, so light and fluffy, and of course, full of sugar, which is what you need when you're growing up. Anyway, in this week's recipe, we're going to use a similar technique to the one we did for our meringues a few weeks ago. So if you missed that, check out the playlist to catch up. And for a little bit of added my Harry Potter kitchen goodness, we're also going to make these into little lightning bolt marshmallows. So you're going to need to make your own stencils. Check out last week's recipe if you want to catch one how to do that. But don't worry, this week's recipe is slightly different because the process of turning a meringue into a marshmallow has a few extra steps. So this is how it's done. It all starts with gelatin. So to begin our marshmallows, we're going to bloom our gelatine by adding it into a bowl with some water. You then want to set that to one side for about 5 to 10 minutes until the gelatin softens up. In the meantime, you can place a saucepan on a medium heat and then add in your sugar, glucose syrup and your water. Swirl this around until the sugar has dissolved, but be careful not to overstir it. Otherwise, you'll create too many sugar crystals. Bring this up to the boil and then keep on heating it until it reaches 120 degrees Celsius. Just before your sugar syrup hits temperature, you want to prepare your egg whites by separating them from your egg yolks. Of course, you can freeze these and use them in another recipe later. For our egg whites, we're going to pop them into a bowl and start whisking them until they form soft peaks. As soon as the sugar syrup hits temperature, you then want to add in the gelatin and the leftover water. Stir this through, but be careful as it will begin to bubble up. Then pour it into a heat-proof jug. Once the syrup is ready, you need to work as quickly as possible to remove it from the heat. Keep on whisking your egg whites and then slowly pour the syrup in a thin stream. Keep on whisking it until all of your syrup is incorporated. Now don't worry, it might look very thin, but we're going to keep on whisking for a good 5 to 10 minutes as it starts to thicken. Now, if you remember from our meringue kisses video, I taught you about Italian meringues, and that's where we're adding a hot sugar syrup into our egg whites as we whisk them up. That's going to make it nice and light and fluffy, but also going to cook those egg whites through. But in marshmallows, we've also got gelatin, and as this sugar syrup cools down, the gelatin is going to help thicken up our mixture. So when it goes into the fridge, those two work together because we've got the light fluffy meringue with the gelatin, which is going to set that light fluffiness to give us our magical marshmallow. It's as easy as that. After 5 minutes, you should be able to touch the side of the mixing bowl and notice that it's a lot cooler. Once it's nice and thick, you can take it off the mixer and then split your mixture into 4. As this one is going to be inspired by our Hogwarts houses, I'm going to add different flavours into each one. We've got strawberry for Gryffindor, caramel for Hufflepuff, peppermint for Slytherin, and vanilla for Ravenclaw. I'm also adding food colouring into each one as well, but only a drop so we get a nice pastel tone rather than a harsh colour. Mix these through until they are evenly combined. So that is our marshmallow mixture ready, but if you've ever had a marshmallow, you'll know that they're coated in this light fine powder, which you can tuck into, and that is really simple to make. It's even parts of icing sugar and corn flour. To make your dusting, all you need to do is combine your icing sugar and your corn flour into a bowl and then give it a good mix. Once that's ready, you can prepare your tin. Now, if we were making one flavour marshmallow, we could just do this all in one tin, but I've divided mine up with some cardboard and some baking paper so we can set them all in one. Brush each side with oil and then add in a spoonful of your coating, tapping it around the tin to make sure each side is evenly coated. All that's left to do is pour in your marshmallow mixture into each compartment and then use a palette knife to spread it down evenly. Pop these in the fridge to set for at least 4 hours or overnight. So there you go, it is quite an easy recipe, and the hardest part is probably resisting to eat the marshmallow because you can. The egg whites are cooked and it tastes really, really good. So wait until you've got the marshmallows in the fridge and then help yourself to whatever is left in the bowl. Now for our last step, once they're ready, we're going to cut these into our lightning bolt shapes. Of course, you don't have to, you can just trim them into squares, but we like to go the extra mile here at my Harry Potter kitchen. Once they're set, you can remove them from the fridge and then release the marshmallows from the mould. The easiest way to do this is to take a knife, heat it up with a blowtorch, and then cut along the sides of your tin. You then want to place a bit of your coating onto a chopping board and put the marshmallows on top. Make sure each side is coated to prevent it from sticking, and then it's time to cut up. It's always best to oil your cutters or your knife and then press them as firmly as you can into the marshmallow. Repeat the process to get as much out of your marshmallows as you can, and then place these into your coating. You want to give these a good toss to make sure each side is well coated, dust off any excess, and then pop them onto a serving dish. And we're done. Our Hogwarts house inspired lightning bolt marshmallows are good to go. So there you go, another Hogwarts house inspired recipe from my Harry Potter kitchen. Let me know down below in the comment which marshmallow flavour is your favourite. Strawberry for Gryffindor, caramel for Hufflepuff, Slytherin peppermint, or vanilla Ravenclaw. I do want to know, and of course, give them a go and then you can let me know what they taste like. That is all for this week's recipe, but if you want to see more from my Harry Potter kitchen, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new video. Have a magical week, I'll see you next time.